All right, well, a lot of women say that they can't say the same kinds of things that men do in the workplace without being judged.
I'm going to judge you just for saying that.
Just for saying it?
I cannot believe you said that. That's terrible.
I know.
Here to clue us in about how women can communicate powerfully and effectively in the workplace, Michelle Villalobos and Jessica Kizorek, co-founder of the Personal Branding Institute. Interesting topic. I'm going to have things to contribute, but I'm interested to hear what the three of you have to say about this.
Yeah, I should be sitting over there on that couch
no, it's
facing
not three
you.
against one.
No, I'm kidding. So, it's good to have you both back. We've had you on the show before, Jessica,
yes,
and we talked about what you need to do to become that badass businesswoman. Now, I was looking at the research, and honestly, as a woman, I have to say that it feels confusing because if you're passive, you're not getting promoted as much, but you're also looked at as being a lot nicer. You're more aggressive. That's not being perceived too well for a woman. So are women more confused now than we were years ago as far as how we should act in the workplace, how to communicate effectively compared to men?
Well, I think first off, you got to take into mind that women have only truly been integrated into the workforce for the last 50 years. Men have had thousands of years of just cultural, social training, so it's natural to them. Women are having to learn a lot of things that we've never really learned before.
I never thought about it like that. Because you were just saying, you can walk down the hall and see a guy and offer him a beer, and you guys are, just have this.
I think guys have a lot easier time sort of instantly bonding than women do.
Yeah.
I feel like there's.
I agree.
And I don't know why, and maybe there's no evidence to back that up, but it feels like relationships between women, and I would think especially in the workplace, are a little more eggshelly, a little more treacherous, you know?
Yeah, and think about the fact that women by nature, evolutionarily programmed to be very relational, very driven by getting along, having collaborative relationships, nurturing relationships. So we get into this workplace, which is very competitive, and we come in and we want to be liked. We want people to like us, we want to get along, we want everything to be happy, but then at the same time we're rewarded for more aggressive man-like behavior, so it's very confusing.
So a couple of the tips that you have here on how to communicate to become more powerful and to get ahead in the workplace. Don't be the babbling brook. Who's that?
Women there's a stereotype, right, that women talk too much, that we explain too much. Men just want headlines and bullet points.
Right.
State what you're going to state and then shut up.
Which leads into the apologetic Anna, right? The one that's saying, I'm sorry, but it's just my opinion.
Exactly. Because really what we find is that when they express themselves more powerfully, they get ahead. So they're so scared of being perceived as a you-know-what.
Right.
As a witch.
Rhymes with.
No, but I would totally say it because it's something we talk about all the time. If a guy comes on strong in the workplace, if I look at another guy and go, I totally disagree. I think we're doing it wrong. I'm seen as strong and forceful. If a woman does that, she's a bitch.
Yeah,
right. And so how do you get over that double standard? How do you get over it?
It's such a fine line to know how to promote yourself, which is why we started the Personal Branding Institute. You got to know how to promote yourself. Otherwise, you're just going to end up at the bottom of the totem pole in the work environment forever. And you've got to know how to not be perceived as too pushy and someone that aggravates people or is irritable. So it is such a fine line.
This sounds harsh, but it's true. You have to know when to shut up. Because do we go on and on with the explanations and talk to
especially when it comes to closing and sales. Yeah. It's like, and you keep talking, and it's like, nope, silence.
Bottom line.
Ask for the sale and shut up.
There's so many more good tips on here, but you have to learn how to say no nicely. So I have to learn how to say no.
That's true, and I find that's true, that setting boundaries, that the women want to say yes,
Huge issue for women, because we want people to like us, so then when something comes up, they'll volunteer. They're the first ones to plan the birthday party in the conference room. Oh, I'll take it, I'll do it. And then they volunteer themselves for these low power assignments, these not high visibility assignments, when men are very easy. They keep their mouths shut. They don't volunteer for that stuff, and they wait for the really good stuff. And they're and then they get the visibility.
Ladies, shoot for the stars, not for the sand.
And ultimately, the strategy should be in the workplace. You should make people beg to have you involved in the projects.
Get on your hands and knees.
Audra, please, Audra, please, do me a favor. Look at the teleprompter and tell them we'll be right back. I beg you.
Thanks so much. We'll be right back after this.
Oh,
and I'm not going to say
I was happy to beg you.
No,
No, it's good. This is good.